Aman'thul, we've talked about. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. I think he's behind a lot of the crap, the problems that we have. His whole thing with the Primus, very shady. And I think we're going to find out a lot more about him in The Last Titan. And maybe he is the Last Titan. Maybe we kill him. Who knows? But Aman'thul ordered time, and his staff is the key, says Pyromancer. Let's see what this video is about.
I think that the most likely thing that happened, maybe not the most likely, but I think that the Titans, I think somehow, some way, they found out about Zareth Ordis. And I think that the Titans ordered themselves.
Ordered themselves?
I mean, Chronicle's already hinting at it. Aman'thul woke up, went around ordering planets.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, they are beings of arcane magic. Like it is in their nature to order things. Could you imagine if they could order themselves to be even more orderly than they already were? Damn.
Directly stated that
it almost sounds like blasphemy.
But what if it wasn't really in planets in the way that we perceive it? What if he took the power of Zareth Ordis and used it to forcefully order Titans? And let's be honest, the guy aligned with time is probably one of the most likely to do something like this, because we think about like time loops, the infinite.
Yeah.
You know, how Murozond came to be, thinking about maybe a fractal between Murozond and Nosdormu, and maybe Aman'thul, and maybe Norganon. You know, maybe...
Yeah, I could see all that being true. The whole thing about Murozond, and I've talked about this before, is I think he's the form that we should want to see of Norsdormu. Norsdormu is the tame, controlled Titan version of what Murozond could actually be. Murozond sees all futures, right? He's an infinite time dragon. He can see infinite timelines. Whereas Norsdormu only sees one. Basically, it was always the one that Titans allowed him to see. He was always blinded to everything else. A very weakened version. Murozond, to me, is the true version of what a time dragon could be. And that's why the Titans have always told us, oh, you don't want him to become Murozond. You want to stop that shit. That's bad. The infinite dragon flight, that's bad. Well, in reality, they probably weren't bad. That's probably something that would benefit us if we could actually let it happen. We'll see how Norsdormu plays out going forward, though. You know, he doesn't get his powers from the Titans anymore. He gets it from the World Soul. So I don't know if that's going to change his ability to see into the future. But I've always talked about that before, that I think Murozond is the true form and the better form of Norsdormu.
There's something there that we've talked about before, so
the uncapped
there is a
potential
possibility that this guy really... Guys, if you guys don't know this, Aman'thul's weapon from the RPG lore, which is not canon, but just for the record, almost all the other weapons have been canonized in some way in the game. Aman'thul's weapon is a lightning bolt made of half light, half darkness, and it's called Order.
Damn.
You guys know that?
I didn't know that.
You guys know that? He literally wields a lightning bolt called Orator in the RPG lore.
So if he did order all the Titans, I wonder if he's saying if he did this against the other Titans' will, or if the other Titans don't even know it. I mean, if you can control time, I'm assuming you could also make people kind of forget things, maybe to not remember something that happened in the timeline. I mean, he could have changed all the Titans. We know that he is somewhat the leader of the Titan pantheon, right? I mean, he seems like the main guy. The one who's, you know, pulling the strings. And I could imagine him doing something like this, ordering his own siblings.
And half of it is
more ordered means more orderly, means maybe more likely to obey him.
Light, and half of it is dark.
In the quests of Eternus, we get Norsdormu to admit there may be, oh my god, Dalgroth coming in with the 42, bringing it 42 into the Scourge. Thank you so much, Dalg. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Let's get a shout out for him, Tundra Freeze. Thank you. Oh my God, we're here talking about Aman'thul, some of the lore behind Aman'thul, and what could be happening here in the World Soul Saga. In the quest for Eternus, we get Norsdormu to admit there may be things throughout history that can change. We've given him that little push to take the first steps to becoming Murozond. Yeah, like I said, I think him becoming Murozond is actually the right choice. But we never let it happen. And he's talking about the weapons. Here it is. The shadow and light weapon that Aman'thul holds, the lightning bolt. Yeah, very interesting. This hasn't been canonized yet, though, and wow, I didn't know that.
So, and just so you know, the same staff is depicted in canon art. Here he is.
Oh, yeah, there it is, yeah. Light and shadow, yeah.
Sessional. Discs of Norganon, Khaz'goroth's hammer. Aegis of Agrimar. Goradar as Gorabal.
Interesting.
Sessional's been canonized as well.
Yeah.
You guys know about Aenar's weapon? It's fun. Sessional is the staff wielded by the Titan Aenar. This staff resembles a gigantic shepherd's crook. It is a pure alabaster, shot through with thin red veins that resemble blood vessels. Indeed, the line's pulse is possessed by some.
Interesting. Mikey Moto, thank you for the sub, man. Thank you so much. Good 2 months. Wow, morning, Sam. Thank you so much, Mikey Moto. Death Knight of our Scourge. Also, Tundra Freeze, thank you for the sub. 16 months. Oh my god.
Magical heartbeat. The staff's touch restores hope to the despairing, energy to the weary, and life to the dead. So this thing is
resurrection.
Super powerful.
Yeah,
there's also
the ability
a
to resurrect.
thing called the blind. There's a whisper that says the blind queen wields a scepter of bone. From the deep she calls forth doom. So wielding a scepter of pure alabaster, white, looking like bone with thin red veins that resemble blood vessels shot through it.
Sounds like it matches the description.
There's also the paracausal fragment of Sessionel. Guess where this drops? It actually doesn't drop. It's sold by Sorotis and Tierhold. So they've actually taken Sessional from the RPG lore and they've canonized it. This is a paracausal fragment of the same weapon. It's an interesting word. It's an anagram for the term seneschal, which means the steward or major domo of a medieval great house. And that's because she is advisor to Aman'thul.
Yeah, she's like the right-hand man.
In the RPG lore, she is his consort, allegedly. She may very well be the future summoner of the World Serpent if we ever go there.
I mean, yeah, Eonar is interesting because sometimes you'll notice in cinematics she seems to struggle sometimes with what Aman'thul is saying. Maybe to follow his orders, maybe it's that time lapse or that forgotten memory stuff that kind of gets to her. Who knows? But there's been a lot of conversations about her maybe taking our side against him in the end, which would be very interesting. Remember, he ripped her world tree out, and I don't know if she's forgiven him for that one.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that she will have to do directly with Yasharaj's return and Elun's imprisonment, because I also think she helped put her sister in prison.
Very
helped
possible.
Imprison Elun. I would also look at Orodur. Wow.
What up, Leaky?
Orodur. Orodur is a giant gold staff that crackles with electricity. Ancient, glowing runes mark its length.
Of course.
And strange winds swirl about it. Aman'thul, Lord of the Titans, has carried Orodur since the universe's first moments. Now, this weapon hasn't been canonized in the universe yet. But one of my favorite pet theories, and I don't have enough evidence to prove it, I'm not going to say it's true. One of my favorite pet theories is that Aman'thul's weapon was broken to create the Naru. And one of the reasons why we say this is because of some of the...
So he thinks that shards from it create the Naru.
Interesting kind of...
and that is also interesting because we said the weapon...
design.
The weapon is void, and it looks like it's dark and light, and Naru can switch between the two.
That apply to the Naru, also in that they're light and dark.
Yeah.
But these kind of like jagged, almost kind of...
They have runes on them too, as is described in the art of the weapon.
Edges remind me a hell of a lot of Orodur.
Yeah, it could be.
And, I mean... And what are the Naru? They're basically holy, they're divinity made manifest into a vessel that runs out of power with time. They have time spells that they can use to lock Maghar orcs in stasis.
Damn, true, yeah.
That
happens in the Maghar orc Heritage Armor questline.
Let's see. They try to fulfill the destiny of characters like Illidan Stormrage, which is wild to think about.
Yeah.
And
basically, when Zira grabbed him, she was trying to order him, right? Like she wanted to reorder Illidan to erase his scars, create a a more pure and I don't know, and in their eyes, a more ordered version of it.
Let us lay waste to this realm.
Beck Vermeer, thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to our Scourge.
And
Very
there's
interesting.
dialogue between two NPCs in Valdrakken that actually talk about the light and void. It says, Romaniel says, surely you can see the similarities, Melanor. The void shows us a winding road of possibilities, just like the various timelines we're charged to observe. Melanor says, your affinity warps your understanding, Romaniel. The flow of time is akin to the light itself. It is a central, singular truth that must be preserved against all threats.
A singular
So
truth.
quick to
So
presume the
tiny.
void's influence. Have you never wondered where exactly your light might lead you? Are you certain you will like what lies at journey's end?
Ew.
I suppose only time will tell.
Time will tell, right? Basically, Aman'thul will tell us. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, well that's funny. Because that would just kind of align with an old pyromancer Aman'thul theory called the Holy Light and Void, Aman'thul's Legacy, the Shadow Out of Time.
Yeah,
5 years
very
ago.
Interesting.
I forgot they do canonize it. I forgot they do. They do canonize Order. Holy fuck. In the Nihilum battle. Holy fuck, they actually canonize it. He actually has it. I forgot about this. He actually fucking wields it. And she has Sessional.
Yeah, there's her weapon.
This is canon.
So the weapon is part of the game. That's official.
He actually has it.
Light forged him. Yeah, that's what they were
The
trying. That's
Holy
what Zero was
Naru
trying to
are
do,
created
essentially.
by Aman'thul and ANR, bro. I'm telling you right fucking now, bro. That's the whole... And it's time ordered. They literally ordered time. They took time and they divided it. They split it in half. They literally broke time. They literally broke space-time. And it manifests as light and void.
Yeah,
That's disgusting. Why would they do that?
because they just want ultimate order. Order.
Why do they divide? Why? What logic is in it? What do they see?
To divide a timeline, I would imagine that there was some things that just simply couldn't be ordered, so they split the timeline and basically created two. One that is more easily ordered and another that is completely disorderly. And the disorderly one might be the true one. One that, again, Murozond would be able to see. But we don't let that happen.
Why would you do it? It has to be to subvert the cycle of creation. It has to be to,
Hey, Moishi.
maybe in his perspective, escape.
Interesting. Yeah, I had that weapon. The craziest theory he talked about in here to me is that whole the Naru being pieces of the weapon thing. This part was pretty wild because the description of the weapon does fit the look of the Naru. With the runes, with the kind of shardy, pointy looking shit, the half light, half dark. Very interesting. This whole weapon thing, there could be relevancy to it. I mean, obviously if we fight him, I would assume he's going to use his weapon and try to order us around. But we'll see if it works. Very, very cool video. And Aman'thul being the end baddie of the World Soul Saga, I think it's possible and likely.